Whoa. I haven't got time to do a tip this week. If you weren't aware of what happened to me last week, if you're not a member of my Facebook or Instagram or things like that, my table saw while I was doing a project for Tuesday just gone, it exploded on me. Yeah, it went kaboom! I wasn't happy. Wasn't happy one bit. I went to my woodworking page and asked all my fellow members what kind of saw I should buy next. Now fortunately I've got a new saw, and the last 2 days I've just been absolutely non-stop trying to get a table so it's a bit more functional for the workshop. That's all done now, and I can start moving on to the projects that I was working on to try and get a video out for this coming Tuesday. Fortunately, a friend of mine, Arran Lowe, and he's going to be giving the tip this week, which is all about spray painting. Now, Arran's a fantastic spray painter. He's got his own company. He makes mostly radiator covers, and I'll leave all the links down below to where you can find him in the description below. I highly recommend you check out his YouTube channel. He's just started, but he's getting really into it, so please go over and give him some love. So without further ado, I'll hand you over to Arran.
Howdy folks, Arron here from Lowe's Joinery. Doing this collaboration video with WH Creations. We're doing a tip. I think he does his on a Thursday. I said would he mind teaming up, and he said mate, that'd be a brilliant idea. So along with his tip, I'm going to do one on spray guns. I spray all of my furniture, so I use a spray gun pretty much every build I do. As you can see, I've got a few here, a little selection of what I've got. Excuse me. This is just a quick rundown of some sort of tip basics and sort of stuff like that. So I'm going to go in, I'll tell you about a few of the guns, a few of the variations you can get, because to be honest I could go on for hours and hours talking about them because there's that many types, shapes and sizes. So 3 guns: 𝐻𝐸LP, 𝐴𝐿-𝐕𝐿P and conventional. Conventional, 𝐻𝐸LP, 𝐴𝐿-𝐕𝐿P. We'll start off with this one. So the reason I think these are good, the 𝐴𝐿-𝐕𝐿P is low volume, low pressure, as opposed to 𝐻𝐸LP, which is high volume, low pressure. So what that means is basically you can use this one, which is the 𝐴𝐿-𝐕𝐿P, you can use that with a smaller compressor. You don't need as much CFM produced by your compressor to use the gun. So I think this is a perfect choice for people, hobbyists that have smaller sort of 24, 50 litre compressors in their workshops. That gun will be okay and it will do the job for that. I've got, this is my sort of spray room here, I've got in the other room behind me, I've got a 150 litre compressor, which I use this. This is a conventional spray gun, and I think it uses about, probably about 7 to 8 CFM, whereas this one, the 𝐴𝐿-𝐕𝐿P, uses about 4.6. So you can see the difference there. Obviously, it's not, there's not enough CFM needed for the 𝐴𝐿-𝐕𝐿P. What else have we got here? This was just a cheapy one I bought from Lidl, which surprisingly is very good. I get a really good finish with this. I believe this is classed as a 𝐴𝐿-VLP or a low pressure gun. So that's what you want to look out for if you've got a smaller compressor. This has got a few little fixtures on the bottom, as you can see. This one here is a water trap. Not so much of an issue if you're using water-based paints, but when you start going into the oil-based and solvent side of things, you really do need a water trap to catch any condensation that's formed in the hose coming from the compressor. Then we go up, I've got a regulator. Now, when it comes to pressure and PSI, what you use a gun at, every gun is different, and that will vary on the weather, that will vary what you're spraying, how thick it is. There's loads and loads of features really that need to be looked at before you can really say that's a definite pressure to spray at. I normally, as a rough idea, I normally go in at 2 bar, which is about 20 to 22 psi. I normally start at 2 bar, and then if I need to tweak it up or down, then I will obviously just play with that regulator a little bit and get it set perfect. Always do a few test sprays before you go on to the project, because you don't want to be making a mess on the project really. So do a few test sprays, make sure it's atomizing properly, and then obviously get going and spraying. Once you've started spraying and you've got the hack of it, it will be annoying at the start, but once you've got the hack of it, it will be absolutely, you won't touch your brush really. It's amazing, the finish, the speed, everything. It's absolutely brilliant. A few other things you need to look at as well. Every gun will have a tip size, and there's a few here. I mean, this one's a 1.0 tip on this small touch-up gun. I've got a 1.3 in there, and I've got a 2.0. So a 2mm, 1.3mm, and then a 1mm tip. And then these are just 1.4s and vice versa. Rule of thumb, if you're doing sort of primer, obviously you want to get the primer on a little bit thicker. So you'll use a bigger tip. It's normally along the lines of a 1.8 to a 2mm. That's what I use for my primer. I really get the primer on there. It lays flat when it's dry, and then obviously I sand it back. Excuse me, and then I just go on with my top coat. My top coat, I use a 1.3 tip. So obviously the smaller the tip, the smaller it's going to atomize, and you're going to get a better finish. But don't make the mistake and start thinking the smaller the tip, the better it's going to be, because you'll have to thin the product a lot more. And obviously the more you thin it, the less it's going to cover, and then obviously you're just going to be doing more coats and that. So probably best tip I can give is just have a go, just practice, get used to your gun, get used to all the features, and just have a play around with it really. I mean, a few features I will say on the gun is, so you've got, I mean, I'm going to state the obvious now, but you know, you've got your pot here. This is for your paint. Your paint goes in there, comes down here, and you've got a few little adjusters here. This one is your needle. This is directly in line with your needle there. So when you adjust that adjusts the amount of the amount you can pull the trigger in, which obviously determines the amount of paint that's coming out. So that's your paint adjuster or your needle adjuster. Up here is your fan. This is your fan adjustment. So you have basically with a fan adjustment you can go from a direct spot, and if you open the fan right the way, it will do, I think this gun does about a 7-inch fan. So it will go from a direct spot, and the more you open it, the wider the fan gets, and obviously you close it, the smaller the fan gets. Generally I start with full fan, and then obviously I don't get any sort of high build up of paint anywhere. And then on the bottom here, this is your in-gun regulator. So this is this regulator here, basically that does your regulator, but obviously there's no sort of gauge to show you what sort of pressure you're at. So when you're using a regulator here with the gauge, always have that fully open. Just unwind it as far as it'll go, and then obviously you'll get a proper reading on the regulator then of what pressure you're spraying at. Excuse me. And yeah, I mean, really, like I say, practice with it, keep going. It will be hard, and there will be times where you'll be like, oh, sod this, I'm getting the roller and the brush out. But you just keep going at it. I can't stress enough how good and how fast it is to spray. I mean, the finish, I get comments on, everyone says to me, oh, did you paint that? I'm like, yeah, I sprayed it. Oh mate, that's a brilliant finish. And that really makes me happy, because I know I do work hard, and I do try and put the best effort in, and obviously it shows when the customer's saying that the finish is great. You won't get it first time, but like I say, the more you do it, the better you'll get and the better the finish will be. And sometimes you'll sit back and go, that is amazing, because I do. So yeah, but just have a play with it really is the main thing. Like I say, smaller compressors, you want to stick to the 𝐿𝐵 guns. If you've got a bigger compressor, you can go up to a 𝐻𝐵 or a conventional spray gun. These are not very expensive. I think this was about £20 and the 2mm one was about £38. This was about £14.99. This was the most expensive because it is a 𝐷eVilbiss. They are probably the best spray guns on the market. This was about £58, I think, or £60. But obviously I've upgraded my compressor since, hence the reason why I've got all these other spray guns here now. And I think this one was just a bit of a, oh, I'll go for a loaf of bread, babe. And as everybody knows, in Lidl you pick up a spray gun, a compressor and an air kit, so and only went in for a loaf of bread. So yeah, basically cleaning out as well. I use water-based 99% of the time. I'll probably 100% of the time, to be honest. And I literally clean it out with water. I do have a video on my channel that shows you how I clean a spray gun out. So if you want, just sort of click onto my channel and there be in my videos there's a video of me cleaning the spray gun out. I hope this helps. I hope I've made sense, because I do talk a bit of gibberish sometimes. If anybody's got any questions or anything, just let me know and I'll help and I'll answer as many as possible. And if it's okay, I would like people, if they wouldn't mind, to subscribe, because I'm trying to work on my channel. The really getting the sort of feel for this YouTube thing at the minute, so I'm trying to upload as many videos as possible. So yeah, please subscribe, please share it, and have a good day.
That was absolutely incredible. I had to message Arran to say what a fantastic job he did, speaking about all the different spray paints that he uses and the best techniques to give you a better paint job for the next project. So once again, please go over to Arran's YouTube channel and give him some love, give him a sub as well. And if you've liked this video, then please give it the thumbs up down below, comment, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Doing so will let you know of all my latest videos when they go live. So until the next time, I'll see you soon.